The move dubbed the Hail Melon just gave NASCAR its most viewed moment ever. And that's not hyperbole. We're going to get into some of these absolutely insane viewership numbers on social media for what this moment has done. This was tweeted out by Joseph Srigley, and it was part of different threads that he's had that are really good, and I implore you to look it up. I'll leave links in the description for it. But bringing up the views that this has gotten, the reach that this has gotten on social media. And I gotta say that as a NASCAR fan who looks at TV ratings a lot, this absolutely stuns me. This is something that I don't think anyone imagined it would get out and build up to be. And this may turn out to be one of, if not the biggest moment in NASCAR history. So let's look right into what Joseph put onto Twitter about this. For those interested in the thread, since my original post, the view count of the video content surrounding the Hail Melon has nearly doubled, now topping 101 million views. NBC has the two most viewed videos, with Twitter and TikTok posts each approaching 10 million views. Now, to put this in perspective, before we get into breaking down these numbers even more, the Daytona 500 this past year got just under 9 million views. Presidential debates, a lot of times, get under 100 million views. Obviously, this isn't apples to apples due to being TV versus social media. But what this brings up is the fact that when done right, when moments go viral, NASCAR has the ability to still captivate the entire world. NASCAR was trending both nationwide and worldwide on Sunday, Monday, and there's still stuff in the sports section of Ross Chastain trending. You've got people like Pat McAfee and the guys from Barstool who don't even cover NASCAR talking about this moment, asking if this happens every week. This is huge. This reminds me of the way that people talk about another major event that happened just about 40 or so years ago, and we'll talk about that as well. But looking at another tweet that Joseph put under it, breaking it down even further, again, Twitter, 30.945 million views. TikTok, 53.913 million views. Facebook, 13.45 million views. YouTube, 2.918 million. So even on the lower side, the YouTube numbers may beat what the TV numbers got in this. And I want to tell people now, don't get discouraged if the ratings from Martinsville are down. What Martinsville's finish did is going to push up the ratings maybe for this next week and even maybe for 2023. And you've got to look at the fact that all of these numbers are numbers that are either mile marks NASCAR has not hit in a long time, or are mile marks NASCAR has never hit in viewership for anything ever. Facebook, for instance, getting about 13.5 million. The last time NASCAR got that many views for the Daytona 500 for any race in general was about a decade ago. Twitter, 30.945 million views. That is just under the combined viewership for the most watched NASCAR race ever, the 2006 Daytona 500. TikTok getting almost 55 million views. That is more watched than any NASCAR race in history. These are huge numbers that I'm telling you now, you can't overlook. As a fan, as media, as anyone, you can't also overlook this for what this could do with upcoming negotiations for NASCAR's 2025 and on TV deal. NASCAR just got the ball in their court. It is now a matter of what they do with it. Do they make this just a one-week thing and it fizzles out? Or do you turn this into another turning point for the sport? For me, I think you got to turn this into this era's 1979 Daytona 500. When you look at the 1970s, it was a time when TV was finally fully adapted across the United States. When the 1979 Daytona 500 had its finish, you had the fight between the Allisons and Cale Yarborough, and you had the Eastern Seaboard completely snowed in, and that was what they had to watch. Nowadays, it's completely different, but we're in an era that is now, very similarly to the 70s, fully adopted a new way of consuming different information and different sporting events. And now what you have with that is the virality of this moment. This is, in a social media sense, talking at the water cooler. This is that turning point. This is a once-in-a-generation kind of viral that NASCAR gets. Even in its heyday, NASCAR never got this sort of publicity after 1979 to be solely the #1 story in America. And they need to capitalize on this, because this is so much bigger than anything any of us could have imagined. And what it does also, and I will tell you this now, this solidifies NASCAR playoffs are staying forever. It just produced the biggest moment in NASCAR history. There's nothing that is going to convince NASCAR that they got to get rid of this when it just produced this moment. I will say this as well. NASCAR, I think, waited correctly to stay quiet on the fact that they were talking about, from reports, banning this move. Well, this stuff all happened, and a little bit of negativity got towards them. NASCAR got ahead of it and said, hey, still legal, just probably going to frown upon it in the future. I think NASCAR, if they can get their drivers, especially get Chastain now, out into the public, NASCAR will now have a household name for a good reason that isn't super controversial or political or anything to do with the modern day division of the country. This is something that brought everyone together to say, oh my God, that's amazing. This, for me, as a NASCAR fan, makes me excited. It makes me excited knowing that people have, at least for this week, their interest peaked. And now, with the championship fight coming up, a championship weekend overall, you have an opportunity, if you're NBC and NASCAR, to open up a whole new set of audience to be able to consume what you're giving in trucks, Xfinity, and especially Cup. So if there's a great championship fight that comes down to the wire at the end, and let's say Ross Chastain versus Joey Logano, those two take each other out and Chase Elliott goes across, that's like right there, your perfect moment that you could get out of this. NASCAR is an opportunity. It's a matter of the driver's package and the sanctioning body delivering on all of their fronts. But that's all I got to say on it. I figured I should share my thoughts, as I'm really passionate about viewership metrics and all of that stuff. I think it's very interesting. And now I want to see what you think. So let me know down in the comments below. Do you think this is the biggest moment in NASCAR history after hearing this information? While you're at it, leave a like in this video, share this video, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel for plenty of NASCAR content. We have tons of stuff that we talk about outside of just this moment. And all my channel members, thank you so much for your continued support. So until next time, have a good one.